The New York Liberty are one win away from the WNBA Finals after their 88-84 victory over the Las Vegas Aces here at the Barclays Center in Game 2 of their semifinal series. I'm Dexter Henry, joined by the great Liberty beat reporter for Winsidr, Myles Ehrlich. And Myles, when you look at this game, another fantastic win for the Liberty, who remain undefeated in the playoffs. But Sabrina escue, she led the way and she also helped close. How impressed were you with her performance once again in a big game for the Liberty?
I mean, Sabrina just keeps on doing it. She had 7 points in a row down the stretch, including the go-ahead, which would eventually be the game winner to put them up 83-81. Hit some free throws there too. And Sabrina, I asked her about that post-game, and she said, in my career, I've made a lot of big shots. I've missed a lot of big shots, but what's important is that my teammates have the confidence in me. I have the confidence in myself to go out. And this is what she works for. And we're seeing that on the biggest stage. We've seen her score at 3 levels, and every time it mattered, every time they needed a bucket, Sab was there with the answer.
It's one thing that we saw her this year develop into a 3-level score, and we saw that consistently, but now to do it on the biggest stage here in the playoffs is absolutely impressive. What also was impressive for the Liberty was what they did in the paint, dominating in the paint. 44 points for the Liberty tonight in the paint, 24 for Las Vegas. How have they been able to dominate in the paint so effectively in this series?
So the numbers were both teams took 30 shots in the paint. The Liberty made 22 of them, which is 73%, and the Aces made 12 of them, which is 40%. That's the difference in this game. And a lot of that is just the size that they have. It's not just Jonquel Jones, who did her best to slow A'ja Wilson, which is an impossible task. A'ja still shot 11 of 18, but she's just said that her job is to make all of those catches, all of those plays as difficult as possible, because then that allows everybody else to kind of stay home around. And that's what we saw. We saw great help defense. And usually it's Breanna Stewart, but we saw back-to-back big blocks from Sabrina Ionescu and Courtney Vandersloot. So it's not just, it takes a village when you're trying to stop somebody who is the best player in the world in A'ja Wilson, but also that secondary, the secondary cast around her, because this is a very talented team that is not going to go quietly.
No, they're not going to go quietly. You knew this was not going to be an easy win for the Liberty. They had to gut it out at the end. And one of the things that was also helpful for the Liberty, Myles, you know this, it was their bench. Courtney Vandersloot and Kayla Thorin, they were big off the bench. How key was that for a team that had some pretty distributed, nice, even scoring across the board?
It was huge. It was really huge for Kate. I'll start with Courtney, because Courtney in that first quarter, the Aces came out hot, as a team in the postseason does when they're already down a game. And in that first quarter, Courtney Vandersloot went 3 for 3 for 7 points, and that kind of helped to stop the bleeding a little bit. And then in the second quarter, it was KT. She had 9 points on 4 of 4 shooting and was just everywhere, especially after Kennedy Burke went down with an injury and she needed some more minutes out there. But they need that grit. They need that hustle. And for the second unit to just step up so big, this was the most points in a game that KT has had since August 22nd. And to have that happen in the biggest moment, we saw, I mentioned the block that we saw from Sloot, and then that turned into a 3 on the other end. It's just huge. That's the depth that we've talked about it all season long. Is that's the difference maybe between these two teams, is that they can go to that bench, to players like Sloot who have just gotten there, but also to KT, to KB. We didn't see Niara tonight, but they have that button they can push. And that's just all of the adjustments that are made in the offseason, so that when the moment is the biggest, they can come through and shine.
And you've seen that, and also Sandy Brondello trusting these players in all of these situations and executing so well. Now, the Liberty, they are one win away, as I mentioned at the top, from the WNBA Finals. They can take care of business in Game 3 on Thursday out in Las Vegas. What are the keys to the Liberty continuing to play well, as we've seen thus far, Myles, out in Las Vegas?
So the keys are, to quote Sandy Brondello, is never get too high, never get too low. Just keep it even. They know what they are. They know if they play Liberty basketball, then they are a hard team to beat. If they stay together, if they stay locked in with one another, helping each other on defense, gang rebounding, pushing the ball in transition, everything else is going to work itself out. And this is a team that pays so much attention to those little things, to the execution, because they know the talent is there, they know the chemistry is there, and at this point, it's just about playing a full 40 minutes.
And playing a full 40 minutes is what could get it done. One more win is what the Liberty are trying to do, and a bit of history on their side. When a team goes up 2-0 in a best-of-5 series in the WNBA, Teams are 18-0 in that situation. Team down 0-2, 0-18, obviously. So things in the Liberty's favor to close out the series, but still a lot of work to be done. As you said, Myles, the Aces, they're back-to-back defending champions. They are not going to go down quietly. That is Myles Ehrlich. Check out his great work covering the Liberty with Winsidr. I'm Dexter Henry. We're signing off from the Barclays Center after Game 2.